Monday, May the 10th. Let's get to some key and critical information for today. Remember, any late-breaking information will be at Offshore Insider on Twitter. Although my website is offshoreinsiders.com, remember we are Offshore Insider on Twitter because of the character limitations, no S at the end. Major League Baseball, the game in which weather will be a major factor. Would not be surprised if the Colorado Rockies game tonight is going to be postponed. It is going to be raining hard almost the entire day. So that's the game. In fact, I'm sorry, it actually has officially been postponed. The Colorado Rockies game tonight has been postponed with the San Diego Padres. Let's get to some key critical betting information. We'd like to go over something new each and every day. And these have been the top teams to bet on this year in Major League Baseball in terms of units won. And it's very important, some of the things we're going to demonstrate to you. You know, the top team to bet on this year is only 500. It's all about value, and we say it time and time again. You know, much like horse racing, you really don't necessarily want to bet on the horse you think is most likely to win, but over the long term, the one that offers the most value. Texas, despite being only 18-18 this year, the best team to bet on, they've won you $668 based on $100 a bet. San Fran is 20-14 plus $637. St. Louis 21-14 plus $617. Boston 22-13 plus $589. Another pretty good example, though, Seattle is only 18-17, but they won you $570. That's after the juice. You know, for example, betting against them, minus $782. And one other team is above 500, Oakland, which is 21-15. I should say one team is above $500, that is, $500. Oakland at 21-15 has won you $562 this year. Who have been the best teams to bet against? Now, this is how much money you would have made betting against them after the juice. The Minnesota Twins are 12-20. You would have lost $1,590 betting on them, but betting against them, even after the juice, you're plus $1,385. Again, demonstrative of what I talked about. Dodgers are a winning team this year, right? Well, not according to your wallet. Although they are 18-17, betting against them has won you $812. Detroit is 10-24, betting against them $678 on the plus side. And one other team is plus at least $500 betting against them. Colorado 12-22. And if you bet against them every single game, you'd be up $632. Why don't I give you the free pick from Joe Duffy's picks for tonight? Joe Duffy's picks off of a 13-4 run, including the NBA Sunday night game of the year in Minnesota. All we did was win by 32. 2-0 NBA sweep led by the NBA total of the month. But your free winner for tonight is to go with Atlanta minus the 8 against Washington. The Wizards are off a rare occurrence. Back-to-back overtime wins. Now, fading teams off of consecutive overtime games, we also had to throw in some rest dynamic parameters, is 40-20 in the history of our database, including fading such teams if both of those overtime games were on the road at 13-2 in the history of our database. Wow. Now, fading teams off a win in which they gave up a lot of assists, 7-15, 5-48, and 23. Remember, when it comes to contrarian betting against the public, when you bet against public dogs, you know, some people, what do they call them, trendy dogs, I've heard on VSiN, or I've heard other people say, you know, public dogs go to die. Well, Washington has a whopping 71% of the bets on them. In fact, we have another contrarian index that is, you know, a little bit more exclusive, where I know, let's just say, a lot of serious local guys around the country, and I know where the money is going, and they're also telling me a super strong consensus on the underdog. And when I say these are guys that take square bets, I mean the public truly adores the favorites, and about 62% of the bets are on the Wizard using an index that is so favorite heavy. Now, finally, Bradley Beal is out for the Wiz. This is a little bit of a tough one because when teams, their first game without a star, usually rally around it and the odds makers overadjust, and maybe the other team gets a little too overconfident, a little bit of an emotional letdown. So that would say maybe bet on Washington, except remember, as we just said, the Wizards are off consecutive overtime games. It's late in the year. Tough time to be losing your star player, a guy who might win the NBA scoring championship. Sportsline, one of the better simulators, has us covering 65% of the simulations. AccuScore, which much like Sportsline does 10,000 simulations each game individually, they got us covering 54.7% to 42.1%. The rest, of course, are pushes. So a lot of intel tonight says go with the Atlanta Hawks. Once again, the Atlanta Hawks. Now, where is the public money going? Very strong consensus play for tonight on the Indiana Pacers. 91% of tickets. And we have about 5,300 bets placed, so that's a high percentage of tickets on one team. As much as the public likes betting road favorites, 91% of the tickets are on the Pacers. But we're also going to talk about line moves in a moment, so that's pretty significant. Milwaukee, not surprisingly, 80% of the tickets on them. Now, we do have another public underdog, New Orleans. New Orleans getting 10 points. 70% of the tickets are on them. As I said, Washington getting 6. We now have, as it's being updated live, so now 68% of the tickets are on the underdog there. How about the percentage of the money? And again, a lot of other people say, look, I would rather fade the money because sports books, they always make money. Bookies, they always make money. So root for the same teams that the bookmakers are rooting for. 95% of the money is on the Indiana Pacers. Therefore, contrarians would say you want to go with Cleveland. 95% to 5% for Cleveland. Again, 85% of the money on Milwaukee. It's looking a similar consensus to what we just told you. And 80% of the money is on Portland, and that's kind of really, when it comes to the percent of the money, usually right about 85% is kind of our cutoff point, unless it's on an underdog. And sharp versus square, the only real sharp versus square indicator would be to go with the Memphis Grizzlies. A lot more sharp money on one side on Memphis and square money on the other side. Now, here are the biggest line moves of the day in the NBA. Indiana opened up as a 4.5-point favorite to Cleveland. They're now up to an 8.5-point favorite. And the only other semi-significant line move, Atlanta opened up as 6.5, and they're now up to 8. And we kind of told you some of those reasons why. Please visit us at Offshore Insider for the latest breaking information and for the best premium picks as well as vetted sportsbooks. It's offshoreinsiders.com.